So Strauss Zelnick recently jumped onto CNBC to have a little chat with them about Grand Theft Auto 6 and also the future of the business, also including some bits about Rockstar and of course GTA 6. Now what I found really interesting about this, there was a few little hints here at where Rockstar are heading and potentially where Take-Two Interactive will take the development of GTA 6. So firstly, it starts off by the news presenter talking about how Take-Two Interactive stock price shot up after the earnings call.
Shares of video game maker Take-Two Interactive surging at the end of last week. The company came out with earnings and reiterated its guidance, saying that Grand Theft Auto 6 is still on track to launch this fall. A smaller than expected loss, but I think the reason the stock took off is because you said, Grand Theft Auto 6 is still on track. And that not only is great news for your company, it's in comparison to what we've seen from a lot of your competitors.
Then after this, Strauss Zelnick talks about how they've been doing what they've been doing for the past 20 years.
We're doing what we've been doing since the very beginning, which is trying to be the most creative, the most innovative, and the most efficient company in the entertainment industry. And what really speaks to is our teams are really committed to that, not just the words, but the actions.
And the whole point of this is that they want to drive home that they're not a sort of flash-in-the-pan gaming company. They haven't just appeared out of anywhere. Their success is built on the long-term development of their games and the games companies underneath them. Now, the next bit is something that I found quite interesting. So when asked about what their biggest title was, you would automatically assume that it would be Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, since the acquisition of Zynga, Grand Theft Auto is no longer their biggest earning game. Their actual individual biggest earning asset is Toon Blast.
What's the number one? Is it Candy Crush? What's number one?
At our company?
Yeah.
It's Toon Blast.
Toon Blast is number one that comes in for all of that.
Then of course Strauss Zelnick goes on to talk about Rockstar Games and how they chase perfection.
What do you all put into it? What does it mean? What do you do to get ready for this?
Well, what Rockstar Games puts into all of their titles is a desire for creative perfection, which is why it takes a long time and why it's complex. And of course, nervous making. We don't claim success till it occurs.
Now, of course, this is something that we're used to hearing from Take-Two Interactive. They talk about how Rockstar chases perfection and the game will be ready when the game is ready. And I think the reason why Strauss Zelnick keeps driving this point home is because there are chances for the game to get delayed. And the game isn't going to be delayed because Sam Houser at Rockstar Games was throwing his toys out the pram. The game would be delayed because the game needs to be delayed because they just need longer to make the game perfect. I think this is a constant fear that I do not envy Take-Two Interactive for having. If GTA 6 is delayed, their stock price will plummet. Nothing they can do about it, it just is what it is. Now next, the presenter goes on to ask about AI, and this is probably one of the most boomer moments that I've seen in recent TV. Obviously the GTA 6 trailer looks incredible, and well...
Grand Theft Auto 6, what can I say? There's enormous anticipation both inside our company and in the marketplace as a whole. We couldn't be more excited.
I'm looking at the graphics right now. I mean, this is so different than when Grand Theft Auto 1 came out. How much of this is AI, and what can we do just in terms of where AI stands in the industry right now?
Well, now I keep seeing this from news anchors. They don't really know what they're looking at. They just think, is this a video? Is this AI generated? How was a game trailer made? And I don't really fault her for making this observation, but I think the reason why AI was brought up to actually bring on to the next point. But of course, Strauss Zelnick answered the question.
We've been using digital tools since the very beginning. So I would say the interactive entertainment business is an innovator within what people call AI now, and I don't doubt that we'll continue to innovate. I think it's worth noting, though, that the genius is human, and the tools may be digital, but the creative genius is human.
Now, the reason why AI is being brought up quite a lot is mainly because of actor strikes that are currently taking place throughout the whole industry. Now, let me just outlay what the problem is here so you can see exactly what's going on. Now, a lot of actors in the industry are worried about themselves being replaced with AI. For example, they record some voice lines, a model is trained off those voice lines, and then they can basically make those characters say whatever they want for the rest of the movie. That means rather than requiring an actor to be hired for 1,000 hours for a film, they're only being hired for a couple of hours for each movie. So actors are rightfully so going on strike to say that you can't just recreate us. Us being replaced by AI isn't fair. And Strauss Zelnick had an interesting thing to say about this.
Creative genius is human. How do you protect and pay those who are the humans
We
involved?
believe in protecting and paying human beings, and we believe that we ought to pay for their work if it's replicated by AI after the work is done. So we believe that that is the right thing to do. That we don't think it's the right thing to do ask someone to perform once, use their work over and over
forever.
again, and not pay for it. We don't think that's right.
Now, looking at Take-Two Interactive's lineup of games, there's only a couple of games in there that I feel could accurately use AI and be used for a certain reason. And obviously, one of the big ones is Grand Theft Auto 6. So this begs the question, how could AI being used? And more to the point, what is Strauss Zelnick on about? Well, what Strauss is saying is that basically you pay an actor for their voice, you use their voice in the asset, whether it be a game or anything else, and then if you choose to use AI to interpret their voice in a different way, you then pay them and you license the ability to be able to use their voice for AI. I think this is probably the most fair way of doing it. You're licensing the likeness of someone's voice, and then of course you get carte blanche to use their voice ongoing whenever you want. Well, within the bounds of a contract, of course. Now, how could this be integrated in GTA 6? Well, the truth is, we don't really know, but there are different ways it could be used. This could be used for NPCs to generate different responses. And I don't mean that like ChatGPT is going to be writing responses for NPCs in GTA. What I think is more realistically going to happen is that different tonal inflections or different ways of things being saying can be generated by AI. So there's a loose script, and the way that it can be said each time will probably give different variations. For example, if you bump into someone on the street, they could say the same thing or variations of the same thing in different ways every single time. But once again, that is purely speculation. We really don't know. I do think that would be a good usage of AI when it came to NPCs. Now, we do know from Take-Two Interactive that they have filed loads of different patents, whether that be traffic patents, NPC patents, whether it be server meshing patents. I've done separate videos on all of these topics, but if you've just searched my channel for those topics, I'm sure you'll find. Now, I want to talk about the actual likelihood of a delay. Now, I did get quite a bit of backlash for talking about this, but I feel like if I don't talk about it and if I just pretend that GTA 6 is definitely 100% going to be on track, I'd feel that's a little bit disingenuous. So let me try and be as brutally honest as I can, but as excited as I can. At the moment, GTA 6 isn't delayed. That's good, and we should all be absolutely stoked about that. But I can feel the comment section getting hot. During this last earnings call, Take-Two Interactive had absolutely zero obligation to be honest about what state of development GTA 6 is in, because this earnings call was to adhere to the earnings call that they had back in May last year. Now, why is May important? Well, in May, they lay out their predictions. They lay out what they think is going to happen during that fiscal year, and they make their predictions to tell investors what to expect over the next 3 quarters that are coming. And then for the rest of the year, every 3 months when they have their earnings call, those predictions in May are referenced back to. In fact, we heard that during the earnings call, they constantly referenced their guideline figures. In fact, the whole document they presented was based on their guidelines. So in May, they make a prediction for the rest of the year, and every quarter they say how close they are to those initial predictions that they made back in May. That's actually how they measure what they're doing throughout the year. Now, Ove Vermage, and I know I keep mentioning him, but it's important to bring this up, he was the former technical lead at Rockstar, and he's mentioned for GTA 4, for example, you don't really know the game is delayed, usually between 4 to 6 months before the game actually is due to come out. And that's why he stated that realistically, we'll only know of a delay in about May sort of time, for 2 key reasons. Firstly, that's the most logical time for Rockstar to know if they're going to hit their deadlines for later this year, but more to the point, Take-Two Interactive have to give accurate predictions for the next fiscal year based on the best knowledge that they have to hand at the time. So we should celebrate 100% that GTA 6 hasn't been delayed yet. That is absolutely awesome, but it is absolutely by no means a guarantee that we are going to get the game this year. Now, that being said, if they're this far in and they don't feel like the game's going to be delayed, if it does happen to get delayed, it won't be by a year. Like, let's not run before we walk here. Realistically, it could be as long as 6 months, maybe even just 3 months. I don't think that if there is going to be a delay, it's anything we need to worry about. But I also feel like throwing a street party and celebrating at this point is just a little bit too early. Now, the main reason I say this is GTA 4 had the same issue, GTA 5 had that issue, Red Dead Redemption 2 had that issue. In fact, if you look at the list of all the games Rockstar's delayed, I'll give you a clue, it's all of them. This is nothing really new, and I feel like we should go into this maybe expecting a delay to be pleasantly surprised if it is on time, rather than getting overly excited due to a document that Take-Two Interactive released. That same document happened 9 days before Red Dead Redemption 2 was delayed, it happened 3 months before GTA 5 was delayed, and I haven't checked it for GTA 4, but I'm guessing it's going to be something similar. But at the moment, it's not delayed, so let's be stoked, boys. Hopefully we can play GTA 6 this year. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get, well, actually, I'm lying. I don't know how many subscribers I'm trying to get to, but just, it helps. All the love. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.